Hello and welcome. This is the February Iowa Chapter and Cedar Rapids Rail Fans online slideshow. We are pre-recording this show. It was actually just 2 days ago that we had the live show with Dana Grief. So we are sitting here a few days later in January, pre-recording the show for February, just to give everybody a little bit of reference as to when this is going on. Now, because we're not going to do current events, I actually have a couple of notes to share with you. The Iowa chapter is going to hold an outdoor spring meeting. It is going to be a 24-hour event, May 14th and 15th, and we're going to do train watching in Nevada, Iowa. The Nevada Baptist Church on West 3rd Street has been kind enough to host us for our 24-hour event, and there will be more details coming out in the future, but we are going to do sign-ups to try to get 24 hours of coverage and take a tabulation of all the trains going by in all four directions on the UP that day. Also, for the Cedar Rapids Rail fans, we're going to do a Grand Mound Depot Day, for lack of a better term, hearkening back a little bit to the old Bertram Bash days. That is going to be on Saturday, June 26th. This is going to be an all-day event, just kind of come and go as you please. And it's going to be at the restored C&W Depot on Smith Street on the south side of the double main in Grand Mound. So feel free to stop out that day and join us. There will be more details coming along later as well. Final programming note, our presenter for March is going to be Rick Byrne from Holland, Michigan. And due to a difference in time zones, he is going to be presenting at 2 p.m. for March slideshow, 2 p.m. on that Sunday. He is going to be giving us a program that will be passenger operations in the upper Midwest, as well as early Iowa chapter material, trolley rides on the WCF&N 100, and a variety of different locations around the state of Iowa. So, that is what we have for notes today. Darren Ferreter is sitting here with me to help present today's show. Darren, you want to say hello to everyone?
Sure, of course. Hello, everyone.
So today, we have the Larry Anglund collection. Now, this was actually lent to us by Harold Ziehr of Watauga, Illinois. Larry Anglund was a prolific photographer from Galesburg. We have documented over 30,000 slides that he took over the course of close to 45 years of photography. So I don't know what the math is, but that's real commitment to the trade. There's no doubt about it. And so we have a small sampling of his work here today. We're going to be doing a Rock Island-based show. It is going to be the final 5 years of operations of the Chicago, Rock Island, and Pacific. So, Darren, do you have anything that you'd like to...
Just wanted to mention that for those who maybe didn't know Larry, if you weren't from the Quad Cities area, he was also really known for putting on all the train shows for railroad days. So if you went to any of the shows the last... 15, 20 years at least, Larry had a lot to do with those.
Yes, the Galesburg Railroad days.
Yeah, Galesburg Railroad days, for sure.
That's right. So, let's begin. We are going to actually get started. As we said, this is going to be an entirely Rock Island-based show, and it is going to be, from the final years of operation, you're going to see the good, the bad, and the ugly of everything the Rock Island had to offer. So, beginning off, we have the Rock Island here with a commuter train, and we have actually their 1776 200 years of anniversary of the United States unit.
Yeah, the 652.
The bicentennial unit. That's right. What I was trying to come up with.
Yeah. This is one of the locomotives that's now preserved up in Manly. This one was taken in 1976 in Chicago. I find it interesting that I don't know if that's his wife or somebody standing on the platform. I had just noticed that in this shot.
Yes, somebody standing there, not on the platform, but perhaps waiting to board the train. And yes, we're at one of the platforms here at LaSalle Street in downtown Chicago. And here we have a commuter consist that is, I believe it looks like he's probably backing in toward the station. It looks like he's got an approach down there on the pot signal. But this is an example of some of the final years of commuter operation that the Rock Island engaged in.
I'm not necessarily an expert on Rock Island locomotives, but the 665 here looks like it's a former UP unit with the shields on the above, on the top of the locomotive.
Yep. And the 3 bi-level coaches.
Yeah, cool shot.
And here we have a great example of the Rock Island Al Capone cars that survived into commuter service until basically the very end of operations.
Well, and some of these cars were divided out. You know, there's I know that some of the cars came to Iowa. The Kewash had them down in Washington. A bunch of those ended up over at the Illinois Railroad Museum.
Yep, and we're looking north here toward LaSalle Street again, and you can actually see in the very background, you can see another commuter operation on the other side of the street there.
Looks like Norfolk and Western stuff.
Yes. And here we have looks like a light power move, E units and F units all being taken back to the engine facility, and 47th Street is where that was.
It's fun. Boy, the background of Chicago downtown has sure changed.
Oh, it certainly has. I believe there's actually a shot here of seeing the Sears Tower being built in one of these. You can see the Hancock building is finished in the background there.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we had a little debate about this shot before we started the program. We believe that this is near 16th Street on the connection near the St. Charles Airline. And this is clearly an entirely piggyback move that the Rock Island is maneuvering around here.
Yeah, the Metal Goat Butter building in the background is one you see in the background a lot of Santa Fe shots too on the other side. So we're not too far from downtown here.
Just a mess of tracks there too that they're trying to navigate.
Not a lot of ballast in that shot.
No, certainly not. And here, I believe we have what is another transfer move, although this is at one of the platforms a little further down from 16th Street. These Century units were seen in Blue Island a lot. You'll see them later on in a few slides coming up. They were yard job and transfer power for the Rock Island in Blue Island.
Yeah, this shot's from 1978 of the 415s.
And here we have another piggyback train, which look like we're departing Chicago right here, heading again down toward Blue Island and Joliet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they use in earlier images. You see a lot of piggyback cars up there around that 16th Street area. So I don't know if this was just complete trains made up and then headed west.
So I threw this in because this is an example, I believe, of a rare Rock Island caboose that was actually painted completely blue. I don't know that I've seen too many of these, but this is one of their oldest styles of cabooses that they had that were converted from old wooden boxcars.
Yeah, this shot 1978.
Now here we are actually at the main line, but near Blue Island, and you can see the double-headed signal there, and it looks like this is another transfer. He's got some tractors on that flat car, 3 cars deep.
Yeah, it's fascinating to look at. There's a 5-chime horn on that locomotive, NW2.
Yeah.
So, huh.
I'm guessing that was some kind of a kit bash, for lack of a better term.
I think some crew member must have gotten a hold of it. I bet that was a cool sounding horn.
Yeah.
For that locomotive.
And here we see the Century units again in the Blue Island yard.
Not much ballast there either.
No, but this is more sand and mud. You can definitely tell we're in an engine facility
Have
here.
your boots on.
Yeah, no kidding. Now this is fascinating. We have a Rock Island unit pulling C&W passenger coaches, bi-level passenger coaches. I have no idea what's actually going on here, but maybe the coaches are on lease. I don't have any idea.
Yeah, the Burlington leased some Northwestern coaches to run early renditions of the Illinois Zephyr back in the mid-70s, 74 or so. But I don't know. This is the first time I've ever seen them on the Rock Island side. This shot here was 1977, according to the slide.
Mm-hmm.
There's a gremlin back there, yellow gremlin for those who are car people.
Oh, yes.
Oh, and look, there's an IC logo on the side of a building way on the left side back there.
Well, I think that's the end.
This would be the end of the...
That's the end of the electric district.
Sure, yeah.
Yep. This would be just past the...
Just beyond the depot there.
Yep, the Blue Island Depot.
Sure.
That's right.
Okay.
But yes, I mean, I included it because this is a very rare shot, but I don't have an explanation for it. And here we see, this is a piggyback train actually heading towards Chicago. You can see actually the overpasses for the IHB in the way background there. But this is BI Tower and the Blue Island platform, and we have some Amtrak power that is possibly being delivered.
Was some of that stuff rebuilt by Paducah?
Possibly, yeah.
Or did it come out of Silvas? Maybe, I'm not really sure.
Again, this is one of these things that's a cool shot. I don't have a great explanation for it, but it's definitely an eastbound move, and he's got these Amtrak engines in tow.
This locomotive is marked La.
Yes. Yes, it is.
U25B.
We'll see some other pretty cool shots of the combinations of doors that got put on the long hood. Yes. So this is the Blue Island Roundhouse, and we have quite the eclectic mix of power here. We've got an Alco switch engine over there on the right.
Looks like a U25 back there.
Yep. And then several EMDs here in the foreground. But yes, it does look like they've got road power getting prepared to head out towards Silvas here. And now we are actually back out on the main line. I believe we are westbound here. And I think that is the signal bridge in the background for the approach
to Blue Island.
For Blue Island,
okay.
Yep. So we're down in the Robbins area right now.
Oh, sure.
Yep. But yes, a westbound road train here with some GE power leading.
We have the attention of the crew, the fireman standing up in the second window there.
Absolutely. And here we see another example of these Century switch engines that the Rock Island use. We got a short transfer. We're down by UD Tower now, and it looks like we have an eastbound switch engine and a westbound commuter train that's pulled down past the depot as well.
Yeah, they used to store the cars just a little bit further west here, so
yes,
crossing the Santa Fe at Joliet.
Yes, Santa Fe and GM&O.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes. So moving right along, we have another example. We actually have two commuter trains in this shot. Or excuse me, we have a commuter train and we have a rocket in this shot. I'm sorry. So the eastbound rocket is coming into Joliet, and we have a commuter train, again, pulled down past the platform. And I believe this guy is probably, from his position, he's probably stopped.
Yeah, I think this is the Quad Cities rocket. 1978.
Mm-hmm. And here we have another fine example of commuter train at Tower UD.
Yeah, this was marked Peoria rocket on the slide.
All right. And it was interesting here, even now you can see there are 3 tracks in front of the tower and a platform in between 2 of them. And then this is a lead to their coach yard, I believe, in the bottom.
On the south side there, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Same location, just spinning around.
Yep, facing the other direction, we have a westbound road freight and a whole slug of boxcars that he's heading out of town with.
August of 77.
And another commuter train this time with the all-silver consist of Rock Island commuter cars.
This was May of 77.
And now we've made our way a little further west. We're going to start heading west down the Rock Island. We see the depot here has actually partially been painted blue. It's the fascinating thing that some of the window shutters and the doors have been painted blue.
I like the tile roof.
Yeah.
It's actually not in very bad shape. Some pieces have been replaced, but...
Yes.
Does this structure still stand? I have not been down...
I don't have an answer for that.
Answer.
I'm sure somebody will chime in and let us know later. But I'm honestly not sure.
1978 with that F7 there. The 676.
Mm-hmm. And a little further along, we're at Depew. And we have some Southern Pacific power that is probably being delivered to its new owner.
Looks pretty shiny.
Yep.
Tunnel motor.
Probably going to make its all the way to Denver and then back and, round the railroad a few times before it gets delivered.
One of the few that's running.
Yes.
4501. This was taken in 1978, November 78.
Yes. And now we're down here a little further, but at Depew again. And you can see the signal bridge there in the background. And I believe that this, you got not the signal bridge, the cantilever signal, excuse me. And
you can see there's a crossover here.
Yeah, we got a crossover. I believe this guy's actually running on the wrong main.
Heck of a dip there behind that front truck. That might have been a fun ride at speed.
Yeah. Kind of a example of the condition of the railroad at this time.
I like the crew member sticking out and saying hello, too.
Yep. Very friendly crews. I believe we actually have, this is a ABBA consist of F units, it looks like.
I don't know. There might be an ABAA. It looks like there's a number board there. I'm not quite sure about that.
Yeah, that could be.
On that third unit. That was 1978, by the way.
Yes. Now we've made our way out to Bureau, and we have some UP run-through power this time.
U30C.
Excuse me. I bring this out because this is the Bureau Depot painted red and gold. We're going to see a little later with the Bureau Depot repainted to white and blue. And this just massive cantilever bridge that was protecting the two mains and then the branch line down to Peoria.
1976 in this image here. U28B.
And here we have so for the side of the depot that this is on, this would be actually a Quad City rocket.
Yes. 1976.
Yep. Eastbound Quad City rocket. We got a conductor helping some people up into the coach there. And here we've got a little bit of steam coming off of the steam generators. And we see that the Bureau Depot has in fact been repainted at this time. What year are we looking at for this one?
1978.
Yes, so in that year of time it was repainted, and now we have the Bureau Depot in the more modern, so to speak, Rock Island scheme. And here we have a move actually facing the opposite direction, but looking at the cantilever signals, you can actually see all the signal aspects here.
So with all the ease on freight service here, is the assumption this is a weekend where the commuter locomotives were kept moving, but
yeah, that would make sense.
Freight. Yeah, I think they pulled as far as the Quad Cities.
Mm-hmm. And so that head out flat car, we're going to see that kind of a load again later on in the program, and I don't have an explanation. I thought at first it was a turnout.
Is it a set of wings or something?
Maybe. I mean, it's a really bizarre looking load, but we'll see some more examples of that later on. But yes, so we have the depot, the train order signal, the cantilever. We got a train on the Peoria side. We've got a train on the Silvas side. We just got a lot going on here in this shot.
1979. There's the 652 again.
Yes. Now, this was some kind of special passenger move that the Rock Island did. I don't have an exact explanation for it, but we have several images of this particular consist and trip that they made here in the Bureau area.
Well, this is the Butterworth cars on there, too, so...
Yeah. So some kind of a director's trip or fan
it's also
trip.
possible those cars were used in some of the regular service too. So maybe this, although the fact that there's two units would indicate
it's a very long train. For usually the Rockets only ran with two coaches this time.
This is 1976.
Here we see the same train again. This time stopped in Bureau, and it does seem to be. You can
Lots
see
of
all the
fans
people down there.
Yeah.
It's some kind of a fan trip.
May 16th of 76. Oh, 20th Century Club. Okay.
Yep. So this is the back side of the same train. And you can see, the elevation in it, but you can also see how crooked that crossing is as well.
Nice pants, dude.
Yeah, no kidding. What's the saying? Dress for the 70s? That's what he's doing.
King me.
Yep. So, and here we see, again, some E units that are out in freight service with well, at least the head end is a piggyback train. It looks like there might be some mixed freight further back.
This one was exactly dated August 19th of 1978.
Yes. And you can even see on that head-out flat car, you've got an example of the Rock Island trailer loaded on the flat car there. And here we've got one going back the other way. Several different paint schemes for the Rock Island, and another one of these UP engines that has not made it to the paint booth just yet.
Yeah, you can see the snow shields on there again. Winterization hatches, I guess.
Yes. And we've got a Milwaukee Road coil car head out,
that's
too.
Cool. Nice shot. Wonder what he's standing on. I don't know that territory well enough. It's too far away to be a signal bridge, but...
No, this is an overpass near Bureau.
All right.
Yep. Because you can see the river there in the background.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, we're following the Illinois River. We're on the curve, I believe, east of Bureau.
Okay, July 1, 1978.
This is the same basic location, but from ground level, and we've got a GE and a couple of EMDs leading a road freight.
Yeah, U-25B. This was earlier, 1976.
Mm-hmm. Lots of grass out there in between the ties. You can tell that deferred maintenance is already starting to catch up with them here. And we're looking at another one at Bureau.
Mm-hmm.
With the depot, we're looking at a westbound here.
Correct.
Yes. So another westbound move, road freight at Bureau. And now we're actually heading down the branch line toward Peoria. And you can see the conductor sticking out his head.
Yeah, I think we're actually coming into Peoria here.
Mm-hmm. Another one of these converted Rock Island cabooses.
This was 1977 in Peoria.
Mm-hmm. And I believe, so he's on the bridge there, though.
Yeah.
Some kind of a transfer job, but yes.
This is interesting. Underneath the number, it says switcher.
Yeah, I think these were considered transfer cabooses, not worthy of road freights. So this is the Peoria turntable, and it's interesting because this turntable sat in a city park for years, and it's now being moved down to the museum in Monticello, Illinois. They have a small passenger operation down there, Wabash F unit and a few other things. Mm-hmm. And this turntable is being picked up and trucked down to Monticello for them to use because it's apparently the same size as their turntable pit that they have.
Wow, that's excellent.
Yeah. So a little bit of preservation going on there as well.
1978 in Peoria, this image is.
Yep. A couple of repainted Jeeps.
Ah, the 1275.
Yeah, so this 1275, for people who are not aware, actually lived on the Rock Island for a while and then migrated to the Iowa Interstate and lived a whole second career on the same territory.
And a little bit on the Krandic, too.
Yes, exactly. Yep. So this is a, I don't know, a moderately famous unit, I suppose.
Well, it survived a long time.
Yes, for this area, for sure.
This was in 1976.
Mm-hmm. But here it is in its original livery. And we have the Rock Island wings on this. This is a Jeep 7, I believe.
Yeah, Jeep 7 in 1976 in Peoria.
Yep, working in the Peoria yard. So now we're starting to move our way west down the double main once again.
This is at Wynette.
Yes, I believe he's actually on the BN taking this photo, looking down at the Rock Island.
I think he's on an overpass because it's not too easy to get to the BN. I think this may be off the overpass.
Okay. Well, either way, he's clearly got some elevation to the shot.
And the Hennepin Canal's in the background there.
Yes, I see that. So we've got another E and F unit consist here, pulling a road freight.
1978.
I'm guessing that Larry got out on a lot of weekends
It looks like
for
it.
the amount of commuter units that we see running on these road freights. This is, again, I believe this is the same shot,
Same
just
location.
zoomed out a little further. And, you know, the piggyback traffic that the Rock Island had coming out of Chicago there, evident once again. And this time the 657, but another UP unit.
1978. So this was after they got the money to fix up the track for a little bit. That's pretty nice looking right away.
Oh, yeah. The South Main, or the eastbound main for sure, it's definitely been fixed up quite a bit. And now we are...
This is Sheffield.
We're at Sheffield. I love this one because we've got a great example of the tri-light Rock Island signal with a clear for a... I believe that would be a clear for an eastbound. I think we're looking at a westbound here.
Yeah, there's some passenger cars bet there, maintenance away cars or something.
Yeah.
And it's also possible this train was shown earlier with this consists with that UP unit back there. I'm not sure about that. This was October 1st, 1978.
Mm-hmm. And here we have another example.
Yeah, this is also around Sheffield.
Yep.
This was July 1st of 78 also. Oh, it's the same train. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Oh, no, it's not.
No,
I'm sorry.
It's got a different leader on
But
it.
I wonder if it's the same consist.
Well, we saw this consist earlier. This is a different consist
sure.
that we saw in an
Okay,
earlier
all right.
slide.
That makes
Yes.
more sense.
Sorry, it's not the same train as the
Got
previous
it.
slide.
But one we saw earlier, I'm following. that.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
Now we're out at Mineral. They did seem to spend a lot of money putting up these brand new blue signs everywhere. Painting their way to solvency, right?
Yes.
Now you can see here the track is not in as good a shape. You can see a little more of the jointed rail and the pounding that it takes.
Pump going on there.
Uh-huh. And moving on, we're in Anawan now. We have an...
F7 there.
Mm-hmm.
1978, September 3rd.
Yep, and it looks like there's some construction materials, construction equipment, or agricultural
It
equipment.
looks like agricultural, maybe some tractors or something.
Yeah.
But then it also looks like there's some passenger equipment or something back there.
Yeah. Maybe it's away equipment.
Could be. I didn't realize
Yeah.
that all that had gotten painted blue.
You know what? There is actually, we'll get to it a little later. There's a slide in here that shows a train on one main and maintenance away on the other,
Okay.
with all blue track equipment.
Is that third boxcar maybe a former troop sleeper or something? It's got some interesting, almost
Yeah,
like block
with
windows or something.
With that low roof too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that could be. So that could actually be camp cars and maintenance away equipment. Another example, tri-light signal. I believe we're lined up clear the opposite direction. But I think we're actually standing at the same crossing here, just looking the other way.
Spun around, yeah.
Yep. So that clear could be for the train that we just saw the slide for.
Yes, because they're not necessarily
In the exact order.
in an order because they were stored in roster order.
Right. So,
Geneseo here.
yep, Geneseo. And you can see that now we're looking at this 661, which we've seen
we saw
before.
earlier. Yep.
Yep. And we've also got the camp cars there, second and third out in the train.
1978. Does that say AC/DC?
It does look like AC/DC. Somebody's a rock and roll fan writing on the front of the engine. But another example here of the piggyback service that the Rock Island ran.
Yeah, full train.
Right down to the very end.
1979.
Now this is fascinating. This signal bridge to me seems very unique. It honestly looks like they just took a steel I-beam and suspended it on two posts.
Is this
But
Geneseo?
This is
I think this is Geneseo.
yes, I believe this is
So this would be the Quad Cities rocket then.
mm-hmm. Yeah. Oops. There we go. And now,
Same area, Geneseo again.
same area. You can see the signal bridge this time further back in the background.
December of 78.
And now we are at...
This was marked Green Rock River Bridge. Let me say that
Right.
again. Rock River Bridge in Green Rock, yeah.
Yes. We are just outside of the Quad Cities right now. Yep. And we've got some Southern Pacific power, it looks like, in there. I believe I see a bloody nose on that second engine.
Yeah. At least a GE second out.
Yes. And here we are actually crossing the Rock River. This would be kind of in the Kelowna-Barstow area. This is something you can actually look and see from Interstate 80 as you're going around the Quad Cities still.
December of 78 on this shot.
And here we are, the reverse curves coming up to Kelowna. And we see that we have a couple of pretty ratty looking GE units. One in new paint and one in the old. But nonetheless, this would be a westbound road freight here.
December 22nd, 1978, according to the slide.
Now, here's what I was talking about. So we've got this road freight on the North Main, and you can see the maintenance away equipment that is all painted blue back there.
Definitely.
On the South Main. So there's some kind of track renewal project going on here.
So this is around Kelowna. Are they just going underneath 74, 80 here?
I believe so,
looks
yes.
like it. Yeah, it's way much more treated now.
Yep. Hard to recognize from, but yes.
Oh, here's the diamonds in Kelowna.
And here's the diamonds in Kelowna, yep. And so, for anyone who's not aware of the history, about 15 years ago or so, the BN actually derailed on these diamonds. They have been taken out, where it's now a diamond between the BNSF and the Iowa Interstate. The BN wiped out the diamond on a derailment and put in a pair of switches instead, and it's wired into the CTC instead of having a traditional interlocking.
Sure. So this is the P-vine between Galesburg and Savannah.
Right.
At Kelowna. 1977 for that previous shot.
So here we see a train, and we're talking about the track renewal. This is a big train of ballast here, all on the head end, that is apparently headed for Silvas or points west.
Trio U-33s there.
Yes. You can see the green board for when you clear the diamond going eastbound also.
So this is 1978.
And here we see a westbound. The diamond actually is in the background. You can see both signal bridge, or the cantilever and the two cantilevers here can be seen. And just off in the lower left of the photo, you can see the station sign.
Oh, yeah, for it's a BN sign. You can see that's their
Yep.
logo. That was 1979.
So here we're back basically at the Silvas yard. We're back on jointed rail. The ballast is largely missing from between the ties. You can tell we've gotten outside of the scope of the improvements that they made. Do have some good examples of some Rock Island rolling stock there, back in the background.
Very cool.
And here's our ballast train once again, or at least the head end of the ballast train. Now, so we're at Silvas Yard now, or what the approach to the Silvas Yard. So we've got these trio of U-boats, but if you look, it actually looks like there is a BN coal train, or part of a BN coal train, in the yard as well. And I don't know what the story is behind that, if that was some kind of regular move that they had.
I don't know.
But it's fascinating to see a dozen of those cars all strung together.
An NP car, Burlington car back there.
Yep. So this train is actually westbound coming out of the yard through the crossovers back out onto the main line.
Mm-hmm. 1978 on this shot.
And there are those loads again that we saw previously at Bureau. There's two of them in this train with a very strange looking container in the middle of them. I don't know what they are. I'm hoping somebody can fill us in, but they do look. I just don't have an explanation for it. I'm not sure what they are.
1979.
Yep.
Got the frog eyes on the U-28 there, or I'm sorry, U-25.
Yes. Although it looks like one of them's been broken out, maybe. But yes. So now we're at the Silvas shops. And we're actually going to see a few examples of different types of power that the Rock Island would have had at this time. So here we have some of basically the newest GE power that the Rock Island operated.
U-33B.
In the newest paint scheme that they had. And then they had these booster units that went along with them as well. These were often paired up with the U-boats. Even in road service, we'll see that later on as well.
This is 1979, so this was
yes, the
freshly painted,
very end.
Yeah.
Yep. And here we have some F units.
Yep, FP7 there.
And
that FP7 shot was from 1975.
Yep. So here, this kind of gives you an idea of the actual scope of the yard. This was just this was the biggest classification yard on their system. And you can see the layout of the yard. I mean, I don't know how many tracks were in here, but this was a bowl, and it was a massive operation, right down to the very end.
And obviously a weekend with the E's in town.
Yes. This would be a light power move heading. You can't see it, but the roundhouse facility is just out of the picture here.
December 22nd, 1978.
And here we have more UP power that was granted to them when the UP thought that they were merging, and then when that didn't end up happening, some of the power just stayed on. Mm-hmm. You can see the wheel shop there in the background as well. So moving on to some more EMD power, we've got probably one of the original Rock Island diesel paint schemes.
Early GP7 jump.
Yep. You can see the arresters there on the top of the unit as well. And here we actually have a road train here, but we've got some auto racks in the background, some box cars. Just this guy is coming. I believe he's heading toward East Moline here.
Several variations of the paint scheme with the yellow ends and the...
Yes. And here we have just a freshly painted Rock Island Jeep.
1977.
This would have been right before they started painting everything blue, I believe. That was the final 3 years, basically. So this might have been one of the last ones that...
What's painted red?
Yeah. So here we have a Jeep 35 paired up with a U-boat.
This is 1975 in Silvas.
And here we have a solid consist of blue Jeeps. This was probably even kind of a rare catch, I would imagine, at the time.
I was trying to figure out if they had named the GP38s early on, or did that occur later, but the 4300 is the Rock Islander.
Yes.
Shot in 1976, October.
And here we have another Rock Island Jeep. The nose is faded off a bit. The Harold on the nose is faded off.
This one's 1980. We're getting toward the end here.
Yes.
March. Oh, the 4710.
Yes. A beautiful hybrid paint scheme. I don't know if they ran out of money halfway through or what happened, but yes, we have business in the front, party in the back.
This was 1979 in October. A little bit of a grungy unit.
Yep. And now some switch engine power as well. And actually, I've never seen it before, but an example of the UP switch engine power. I didn't know that they had any of those floating around, but...
SW1 here.
Yep. And here we're pulling a harvester transfer out of the IH Moline Works.
It's an SW8 there.
Mm-hmm.
1976.
We've got a slug set.
That was a new SW1500 there. Oh, 6215 gearing. That thing can move out.
Oh, yeah. And a couple of Rock Island switch engines right next to the Kelly Yard sign.
A little faded there.
Mm-hmm. And here we've got some construction equipment that I believe came out of would have come out of Caterpillar in Peoria.
Probably out of Peoria, right?
Yep. But it's here being classified in Silvas in this shot. And a couple of examples. We got an old caboose and a new caboose.
1976. You can see the one on the left's marked pool service.
Yep. And a wrecker. I'm sure this thing got quite the workout.
Probably did.
I believe this is actually a steam wrecker, too.
Looks like it. Still has the stack on the top.
Yep. And here is the Rock Island Shops. Now, this is actually still standing as well. This is NRE, but NRE is in the process of pulling out. There's, I don't know, there's a lot of rumors as to what the future of those shops are going to be, but certainly like to see somebody like the Iowa Interstate grab it up.
I would imagine with their new facilities down
in South Amana.
In Homestead, yeah, that they're not probably going to grab another location.
Right.
Hard to say.
And here we're actually inside the Silvas shops. Gives you a little bit of the scope of what it looked like inside there. And if you look in the background, you can actually see the IH switch engine on the next track over, the big red over there.
Okay. This was 1977 in July.
Yep. And here is the deadline at the Silvas shops. And this would have been...
This was January 4th, 1980.
Yes, so this is very close to the end. And so at the end of operations, or close to the end, they actually had a dollar amount that if the repairs exceeded, that they just sent them to the deadline and they never moved again. And that was that's what you're seeing right here. That
I'm curious if like the Jeep 40 or that 362, if it ended up back to the UP again and ever ran.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if the U-25 never moved.
Yeah, a lot of those U-boats that...
They were pretty tired.
Yep. And here we see what is... I don't think it's brand new power. I think this is run-through power from the UP. But this would be a westbound road freight. Again, departing Silvas. I'm surprised they didn't, isolate their own engines and just run the UP power west.
Probably did. 1976 in these shots.
Now, this is interesting because I have seen other shots of this 1331 with the booster units.
Wasn't this for coal service?
Yes, this was coal service, but then it would get pulled out of coal service and be put into other use as well. Because I've seen this on road freights also, photos of it at the North Yard at Cedar Rapids.
Okay. So this is 1976. I don't know when these are paired up for that service.
Yeah, but I believe we're getting serviced here at the Silvas shops again.
February.
And here we see more of this piggyback traffic that the Rock Island just seemed to have vast quantities of.
Boy, look at that track just in front of that locomotive.
I know. It looks like somebody's wooden track that they got laid out in there.
1976.
Yep. Yeah, that's pretty rough right there. And so here we see we got some patchwork going on as we've got some blue doors on the U-boats, but they didn't actually repaint the whole thing. And it looks like we've got, at least the head end is solid system cars. Rock Island, brand new blue hoppers up there on the head end.
1978.
So now we're down in Moline, and we are kind of down in the John Deere Commons area here. You see that we've got another example of the Rock Island just had they had searchlight signals, they had tri-lights, they had these vertical signals. I mean, just a little bit of everything.
From a modeling perspective, lots of fun colors and all kinds of neat things to model with the Rock Island for sure.
Yep. And you see we've got this B unit, this GE B unit or slug, that's actually in road service heading west here. Conrail unit on another westbound. I'm sure that's on its way to being delivered.
Probably 1979. Rebuilt, probably.
Mm-hmm. And here we see we're in Moline again. We've got a tri-light signal with an approach over there on the right. And this, to me, This feels like a transfer job, going maybe over to West Ave or Nahant.
Probably so with the scrap on there.
Yep.
That's 1976.
Yep. And here we see we've got some more. So we've got some interesting UP power, actually. Because I think one of those is a B unit.
Well, it's a SD24B. This
Yeah.
slide was not dated. And the processing date wasn't clear on there either. But it's possible that 2907, the U28C, is fairly new.
Yes.
It's pretty shiny.
Yeah, it seems like it could be being delivered new right there. And then you've got the IH harvesters there on the head end as well.
Nice. Well, there's rail box cars, so it's probably sometime in the mid-70s then.
Yep. Yep, I would say so. And here we are. We're pulling down a little further west.
This is, I think, our first shot of a 40-2.
Yes. And they really didn't have very many 40-2s. You can actually tell where the dynamic brake grid should be that was custom removed or not ordered, however you want to put it.
Mm-hmm. This was 1979 in Moline. There's your approach.
Yes. And a couple of U-boats. Again, we're downtown Moline here.
A couple of U-33s. 1976.
So now we're down by the Rock Island Depot. And you can actually see the overheads and the depot over there kind of hidden in the trees on the right. The Rock Island yard is over to the left, and then those boxcars might actually be on the dry line going around the back side of the yard. But this guy is going westbound again, coming up toward Terminal Junction.
1976.
In Rock Island. And here we have another... I like the caboose shot, but I love seeing all the red tractors in the background as well.
The caboose is marked Quad City Terminal.
Yep. So it's clearly captive service.
This was 1975 in November.
Yeah, and we're right next to the IH Tractor Works here.
Neat.
So now we are over on the Iowa side. We're in the city of Davenport, and this guy is going over the overhead bridges over the streets in downtown Davenport. The government drawbridge is actually just out of view to the right as the train is curving around there in the background. And you can see, again, those number boards seem like almost Southern Pacific style.
Yeah, very unique lettering.
Yeah.
This is 1976.
So now we are actually street running, going through downtown Davenport. We've come off of the overhead bridges and heading toward Missouri Division Junction.
And that blue Chevy there, you wouldn't want to open your car door.
No, it'd certainly get peeled right off.
Another GP38, of course. Letter Jerry Lutton.
Yes, Litton.
Litton, sorry, Litton.
Yeah. And here we are actually at Missouri Division Junction, and this is now an interchange between the Canadian Pacific and the Iowa Interstate.
This is getting pretty late here, 243. This was 1980, March of 80.
Yep, right down to the very end. And this, I mean, you can see how bad a shape those units are in. There's just no maintenance being done to them at all from what it looks like. But yes, so the track that the train is on is actually the one that's been removed, I believe. And the one in the foreground is the Iowa Interstate main, and then you can see the
transfer track.
The transfer track. Well, this would be their Golden State main.
That's right.
Yeah. And then you can just barely see the other switch for the Golden State main going off on the just beyond it. So now we are at West Davenport. So in this image, the West Davenport yard is right behind us. The tower at Schmidt Road, he's probably standing on Schmidt Road. And the tower would be just out of...
Just to the left.
Out of view to the left. This is the Purina building being...
constructed.
Going up.
Yeah, this is dated 1977, November 25th of 77.
Yep. And then you can just kind of see in the snow there where the dry line takes off to the right and goes up over the highway and toward downtown Davenport. And here we are at the south end of Nahant here. and the yard is kind of off to the right, but we're at the crossing on the south end of Nahan.
Okay, another GP38, of course.
And we're out of town a little ways, near Buffalo, heading down toward Stone Train territory and down toward Muscatine.
The 4351 is the city of Albert Lee.
Mm-hmm.
This was 1978. October.
Yep. And
Washburn here.
Yes, Washburn, Iowa. I had to look up where this was. I was not going to find it if I didn't look it up. I'll be the first to admit. But yes, we have another road train here heading across the prairie.
This is 1976, so a little bit early, quite a little bit earlier on.
Yep. And now, so this building is also still extant. This is the Grinnell Depot, and this would be the crossing between the M and St. L and Rock Island. All this time the CNW would have already taken it over. And you can see you got the train order signal, but the aspects have been taken off of it.
1979 here.
Yeah, but this is actually fixed up quite nice, and it's a restaurant.
It was a great restaurant. The last time I ate there was excellent.
Mm-hmm. And here we've made our way a little further west. I believe we're in Des Moines here, Short Line Yard. And you can see the overpass there, the walking bridge in the way background, I believe.
Load of poles back there.
Yep.
Nice paint on the 389. Get a little lettering on it.
Yes, it's been painted but not lettered. It seems a little bit bizarre, but
seems strange it was released. Maybe it was the only running power they had.
Maybe get it out here. We need to run this train today. And here we have a Rock Island snowplow, which I'll admit I've not seen. I mean, I'm sure they ran snowplows up in northwest Iowa, but I haven't seen very many images of them actually.
They called these the bread box. There were several in Cedar Rapids in the earlier days. Now this is 1979.
And is this one of them that is a converted oil tender?
It would have been a tender, yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And so this is our final slide, a given fitting epitaph as a funeral for the Rock Island. Here's a tombstone.
It almost looks like a tombstone, doesn't it?
Yes, but we're up at Manly here.
1977 in Manly.
Yes, but this is the end of our program. So thank you to everyone for watching, and we certainly hope that you'll join us live again in March. So, Darren, would you like to...
All I was going to say is, if you get a chance, you can always go back and watch these again. Tell your friends about it. We're getting some nice responses from people for putting these together, and we're, as we've talked about, lined up for a lot of shows coming up over the next few months. Quite frankly, we're booked up through even December yet of this year. We've even talked about maybe doing intermediate shows. I'm not committing anyone to that yet, but we have created a great amount of interest with these. So thanks for joining in with us. We really appreciate it.
Yep. Have a good day.